The battlefield is set. The stakes are high. The only thing standing between you and victory? Nothing. Ascend to the pinnacle of gaming greatness with Lenovo Legion. Laptops, towers, and the new award-winning Legion Go, the world's first officially licensed handheld, powered by Steam OS. Legion relentlessly pushes gaming technology forward, with towers built for raw, untamed power, laptops with best-in-class AI tuning that sharpen your reflexes, and the Legion Go, a handheld for serious gaming on the go. Stay ahead with lightning-fast responsiveness on a stunning 16-inch PureSight display. Keep your cool with cold front thermal technology engineered for marathon sessions. And with all-day battery life, the game never stops until you say so. So check out Lenovo.com/Legion. Lenovo. Empowering creators everywhere.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
For those who haven't already heard, ICON, the Interactive Innovation Conference, is a new event where leaders from every business sector around the world learn from and engage with the top minds in the $300 billion video game industry. Interactive entertainment technology isn't just fun and games. It's also solving problems and driving innovation, everywhere from operating rooms to production studios, education, engineering, retail, and so much more. At ICON, business leaders will learn how to tap into the transformative power of video game technology and form new connections with executives from a wide variety of sectors, and share ideas that can change the game and change the world. This premier event is coming to Las Vegas, April 27th to 30th, 2026. Learn more at icon.com. That's IICON.com.
Wasn't that delicious?
So good.
Your bill, ladies?
I got it. No,
I got it.
Seriously, I insist. I insisted first.
Oh, don't be silly.
You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Last time on Obscurum, Invasion of the Drones.
It was a routine medical call out east when a mission to save a life almost ended in disaster.
And a drone just went right underneath us.
He tried to count the number of objects with the same light pattern. Were these things drones? He said, well, I couldn't tell for sure. And that location is probably about 10 miles east of Denver International Airport.
Do you feel as though this could be some type of government agency or foreign power controlling these drones?
I can't answer that.
Two weeks had passed since the task force meeting in Brush. Conversations about the mysterious aircraft continued to play out on the local news. Reporters captured grainy videos of the strange lights, but it was impossible to make any conclusions. I was determined to figure out if any of the aircraft were taking off and landing nearby. One night, I chased a larger drone-like object in my dad's pickup for 20 miles.
That big white one looks like it's coming closer. They are all over. There's another one right directly above me to my left.
It was shaped like an egg and had a spherical white light. Even as I'd take back roads to gain ground, it was always ahead of me. I plotted my next move and began texting with Chris, who I'd met after his wife Sarah spotted a large aircraft hovering outside the family's farmhouse. There was an unsettling development he wanted to share with me, and I could tell it was important that we get together in person. Chapter 9, Dark Shadows. One of the first people to ever spot these aircrafts is driving about 40 feet in front of me. The dust kicked up off the tires of Chris's pickup, hauling down a dirt road in Phillips County, Colorado. I was closely behind him. Chris has a tall, athletic build and chiseled jawline. He had a ball cap on. You could tell he probably played sports back in the day. We walked over to a clearing near the edge of a field where he began telling me about another encounter.
I burned my trash, and after we'd opened our Christmas presents, so I just have a bunch of wrapping paper in boxes, and there's some snow on the ground, so I just took it out to the trash barrel and lit it and had quite the fire going. And it was pretty late at night again, and I went up into our office, which is like on the second story. I was just getting ready to head down for the night, and I turned the lights off, and I realized that there were lights on outside. It looked almost like one of our yard lights. I could see it glowing off the tin of our shop. So I went outside the garage, and as soon as I opened the garage door, there was a white, like infrared camera light. I mean, you could see the perfect circle of bulbs around a camera mounted on the bottom of a drone. And that was the light I was seeing from the house. And as soon as I opened the door and stepped outside, it took off. It was unreal.
Why do you think the drone showed up when the trash can was lit with fire?
I think it picked up the heat, and it was cold again, so I'm sure it showed up from a long ways away. But that happened 2 different times. Once in the daylight too, where I had a pretty good fire going, and within 15 minutes there was a drone flying by. Didn't hover like the first one did that night, but it flew right by to get a look at what was going on. It was probably at least 8 feet across. It was intimidating. It gave you goosebumps when you looked at it. It's like, wow, didn't know anything like that even existed, that could hover like that and then take off at that kind of speed. And when it was hovering, it was totally silent until I stepped out and it took off, and then it was just like a motor running.
I couldn't wrap my mind around why a drone would hover above a small fire.
I wanted to knock it down. All the sheriff's department kept saying was, do not shoot, do not try to follow them, just leave them be. But I wanted to shoot it down because I don't like anybody being that close to my house without me knowing, let alone something that quiet with a camera within 50 feet of our house. I really wanted to knock it down just to see who would come pick it up.
Would anybody pick it up and risk being seen? If Chris had experienced this, there could be others. Maybe his neighbors had reported something similar to law enforcement. I called Phillips County Sheriff Thomas Elliott to see if we could visit. He promptly cut me off mid-sentence and informed me that I needed to fill out a public records request before he'd talk. It seemed like I'd have to find details in a police report. Confused on where to turn, I spent many hours going down the rabbit hole of comments on the social media group Rod Miller usually posted to, hoping to find a tip that may lead to a breakthrough. One day, I woke up to a flurry of notifications. Rod told me that he locked in on one specific region where a high number of unexplained aircraft were still being seen. What puzzled him even more was that these sightings resembled orbs or glowing balls of light, distinctly different from the drone-like objects initially reported.
I set up off about a mile or two off that site, and almost 99% of all my really good videos of the orbs, they come up off the ground, and they come up off that site. That's where my setup is, and that's where I've had the best luck, every time I go out there.
Based on obscure land formations he'd located with satellites, he was convinced there was a sacred ancient site near the area of high activity.
To me, it's like they showed up in big numbers, but they'd been here in the past.
I didn't know where this was going, but I was highly skeptical, then intrigued. Rod wanted to explore the canyons and pasture during the daylight to see if any remnants were there.
The landowner was a definite no through other family members of his, I ended up finding the homestead papers of his land. One of my friends, she helped me get that. Anyway, long story short, we found the homestead papers and then gave him the homestead papers for his land, and then we got permission to go onto the land to look at the site. When I got to the site, the strange thing about this is the variance in the temperature there. The farmer, like I said, he didn't want nothing to do with this site. He told me that if one of his cows was having a calf there and was having trouble, that it would be on its own. He had a bad feeling about the site and didn't want no part of it. When we got there, and he showed me the temperature gauge on his pickup, and when we got pulled up to the site, at that site it was 40 degrees hotter than where we had stopped. There's like a 40-degree difference. I've looked through binoculars since then. When it's snowing, it'll be snowing completely around that site, but it doesn't snow right there at that site. Very weird. Of course, the landowner, he wouldn't get out of his pickup because that site spooked him. But his wife was very curious about it. She went with me, and there were some pictographs, different carvings on a bluff there, and we were looking over those. There were a total of 7 owls. And they were owls that I had never really seen before. They were kind of a brown with white mottled color to them. But they looked like real living owls. Well, they let the landowner's wife, get up pretty close, and she took pictures, tried to take pictures of them, and she come running over to me. She goes, "Rod, they don't show up on the camera." As we was looking at some pictographs, a dark shadow swooped down over us, which her husband was in the pickup, which scared him for us. And she, of course, screamed, and it was kind of this cold draft. It's hard to explain. It just came right over us, swooped over us. Cattle took off running, and he told us to get in the pickup, and he wouldn't let me look anymore. And of course, I'll never get back on there again, probably. Whatever that black shadow was definitely in a negative way. It wasn't good.
Rod was eccentric. I had no reason to believe that he wouldn't be truthful. Could there possibly be a connection between the land and sky? Members in Rod's drone hunting group were now taking their investigative conversations to a secret messenger chain. They had to be aware of his personal research.
Creativity doesn't wait. It moves, shifts, evolves, just like you. And with the Yoga PC from Lenovo, your tools finally keep up. Stunning, smart, and sustainably sourced, Yoga PCs from Lenovo are designed to amplify your creativity with AI-powered performance. Whether you're sketching, editing, animating, or composing, yoga moves with you, adapting to your creativity, to your rhythm. With beautiful displays and the flexibility to shift from laptop to tablet, yoga unlocks new ways to inspire and create. Because at Lenovo, we believe your tools should fuel your flow, not hold you back. Yoga PCs from Lenovo support you at every step of your creative journey. So check out lenovo.com/yoga and supercharge your creativity with yoga. Lenovo. Empowering creators everywhere.
ICON, the Interactive Innovation Conference, brings together leaders from every business sector to learn from the top minds in the $300 billion video game industry. Interactive entertainment technology is reshaping classrooms, reimagining healthcare, and revolutionizing how we connect. What connections will you make at ICON? April 27th to 30th, 2026 in Las Vegas. Learn more at icon.com. That's IICON.com.
Wasn't that delicious?
So good.
Your bill, ladies?
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first.
Oh, don't be silly.
You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Chapter 10. Silent Silhouettes. The realist in me thought that if Rod Miller was seeing large numbers of aircraft again and again over a small concentrated area, maybe this localized event could be related to agriculture.
You did all right. Good. I'll keep you for another year. All right, good deal. I don't want you to do anything different.
A neighbor who lived close by introduced me to a man named Jeff Wessels. He was one of the few people in the region certified to fly drones professionally. When I walked up to Jeff, he was talking with a waitress and another couple a few tables over. He was wearing a Nebraska Cornhuskers t-shirt, blue jeans and glasses, and reminded me of one of those guys who's never a stranger to anyone.
What is your specific background? I know you are licensed to fly drones.
We do it for work. We fly DJI Phantom 4s and look around, take videos, take pictures, and then we can show them to the customer and say, here's what we're seeing out in the field. You know, even though we're not selling the information to the customer, we're still being FAA certified UAV pilots so that we don't get in trouble for anything.
With Jeff's experience as a crop advisor, he'd know the geography of the area and how someone may go about running fleets of drones.
There would have to be a lot of automation, or it would take a tremendous amount of individuals. Somebody has to watch them, obviously, I can guarantee you. Because in a commercial aspect, like the ones we fly, they won't go over 2 miles away from the receiver, or they will turn around and come back. I know they would show up on radar as big as they are. They would look like a flock of birds, for example, on radar. And the FAA takes violation of airspace really seriously. So I promise you they know. What I don't think anybody will ever know is what they're doing. It was a year ago. A big old snowstorm, snow was piled up everywhere, and I thought, this will be really fun. I was at the agronomy office, and I thought, I'm going to launch it up in the air and take pictures of all the snow around there, not thinking about where I was. Got it all set up, got ready to go, and it wouldn't launch. I go, duh, Jeff, the airport's only a mile away. You're way inside the radius of the airport, so there's no way it will fly. So someone has got permission from the FAA to do this, or they have very sophisticated ways to override the FAA rules that are in here.
Jeff mentioned drones were used for surveys, but there had to be a company that did more. I soon connected with Michael Ott from Rantizo.
We use drones to spray for agriculture and sanitization. We can spray pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, wherever they're needed in crop fields.
Growing up in the area, I was used to hearing spray planes at the crack of dawn, but I'd never heard of drones being used for spraying crops.
With the drones you use, what are the typical sizes?
The drone itself is maybe the size of a card table. That's a good frame of reference for most people. And then we put on a boom that extends out 14 feet and gives us a 20-foot swath as it's spraying. There'd be very unusual reasons to be higher than 20 feet above the crop if you're doing an application.
Can you charge them wirelessly while they're in the air?
We have batteries, and so when you're doing a job, you'll bring multiple batteries, a charger, and a generator with you.
How close can you get to an airport typically before, you get a notification or it lands?
If you get that authorization, you can fly much closer. Otherwise, a lot of them are no-fly zones.
If the unexplained aircraft could be related to farming, I wondered about climate. January in Nebraska is cold and the ground is frozen.
Is there ever a time of year where you wouldn't be flying and putting these on some type of agricultural related field?
I'd say it's atypical. I mean, you don't want to spray something on snow cover, but I think that'd be a foolish thing to do. I cannot imagine that the people that were doing that had a legitimate agricultural purpose.
Hearing that from an expert helped me come to the same conclusion. With no luck calling additional agencies and companies who fly drones, in hopes of getting fresh leads to look into, I monitored cell phone tower video feeds and scoured the web. During that third week of January, I came across a link to a cryptic article. I visited the website and froze. There was a piece by the Sterling, Colorado Journal-Advocate with a headline that read, "Drone Mystery Solved? Wichita Group may be responsible." The story centered on a man who wasn't from the area. A few days later, a second article was published, this time in the January 23rd issue of the Yuma Pioneer. An editor's note stated that a man whom I began referring to as Matthew Spencer was taking responsibility for the nighttime drone sightings. The piece was confusing and didn't seem to be written by a seasoned reporter. If Matthew had knowledge related to the mystery, why was he choosing to speak after weeks of sightings? I had to find him. Coming up on Obscurum, Invasion of the Drones.
I got an old saying, and I take it from Einstein: the universe is not only stranger than you imagine, it's stranger than you can imagine. And I take that straight to heart.
There's cameras kind of all over the place.
There could be physical manifestations. People could get sick.
You want to sit me down and say I had lights going? You want the clearest understanding, I think. Put me on the polygraph.
If you have any information surrounding the events detailed in this podcast, or have your own similar account, please visit our website at obscurumseries.com and share your story. You'll also find exclusive behind-the-scenes content on the site. To connect with us on social media, you can follow at obscurum_series and at Gabe Lenners on all social platforms. Obscurum is produced by Imagine and Lenners Entertainment for iHeartMedia. This series is written, hosted, and produced by me, Gabe Lenners. It's executive produced by Ron Howard, Brian Grazer, Carl Welker, Nathan Clokey, Nikki Etour, and me. Additional production by Jacob Plew. Music and sound effects courtesy of Epidemic Sound. Brand management and digital design by Labyrinth Brand Co. Video editing by Alex Semikopenko. This project was mixed and mastered by Jacob Plew. Special thanks to Dan Bodansky, Josh Hiller, Keaton Stortz, Bryson Keyes, Ailey Birchfield, David Wasserman, Katrina Norvell, and my family. Obscurum, Invasion of the Drones is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow now.
The battlefield is set. The stakes are high. The only thing standing between you and victory? Nothing. Ascend to the pinnacle of gaming greatness with Lenovo Legion. Laptops, towers, and the new award-winning Legion Go, the world's first officially licensed handheld, powered by Steam OS. Legion relentlessly pushes gaming technology forward, with towers built for raw, untamed power. Laptops with best-in-class AI tuning that sharpen your reflexes. And the Legion Go, a handheld for serious gaming on the go. Stay ahead with lightning-fast responsiveness on a stunning 16-inch PureSight display. Keep your cool with cold front thermal technology, engineered for marathon sessions. And with all-day battery life, the game never stops until you say so. So check out Lenovo.com/Legion. Lenovo. Empowering creators everywhere.
CBS Monday, February 24th. Introducing the new daytime drama, Beyond the Gates. Welcome to Fairmont Crest Estates, where the wealthy and glamorous Dupree family rules the community with poise and sophistication. That is, until a cheating husband and his trophy wife start stirring up trouble. Find out what happens beyond these majestic gates and behind closed doors where scandal, romance, betrayal, passion, secrets, and revenge await. CBS Daytime is about to get soapier. The new daytime drama Beyond the Gates premieres CBS Monday, February 24th, and streaming on Paramount+.
For those who haven't already heard, ICON, the Interactive Innovation Conference, is a new event where leaders from every business sector around the world learn from and engage with the top minds in the $300 billion video game industry. Interactive entertainment technology isn't just fun and games. It's also solving problems and driving innovation, everywhere from operating rooms to production studios, education, engineering, retail, and so much more. At ICON, business leaders will learn how to tap into the transformative power of video game technology and form new connections with executives from a wide variety of sectors, and share ideas that can change the game and change the world. This premier event is coming to Las Vegas, April 27th to 30th, 2026. Learn more at icon.com. That's IICON.com.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.